Hey horse friends, I'm Becca Salamone and this is Southern Horse Talk. I'm coming to you from the Alabama Horse Fair at Garrett Coliseum in Montgomery, Alabama. This is the second day, March 6th, of a 2-day annual fair, and y'all come on out. And I'm standing here with gaited horsemanship professional Larry Whitesell and Jennifer Bauer. Welcome to the fair.
Thank you.
Y'all enjoying it so far?
Oh, yeah, we've been pretty successful, I think.
Yeah, well, you come back here several years in a row, right?
This is our third year here. We didn't come last year.
Okay. All right, well, so tell us a little bit about your history with horses and how you got into training gaited horses.
My wife got me in about 30 years ago.
And I've just been in horses and just found gaited through a job opportunity.
Awesome. So you really enjoy the gaited horse more than just the trotting type horse?
Just being in the horse industry, and the gaited horses and their owners are unique and much different.
So have you done this for how many years?
About 30 years.
30 years. And so, how did you get started in it, and what made you want to be in it?
Well, I was a teacher, so I like teaching, so I like training horses. And one thing just led to another. Horses are easier to teach than people sometimes.
Well, they don't talk back. So sometimes. So when people go to your clinics and your demos, what can they expect to happen there?
Well, we're going to teach them how to understand where their horse is coming from and how to make their horse's life better, put the horse in balance. And we like the gaited world because both of us like trail riding, but you don't want to just make your horse gait. You want to make him comfortable in his body and put him in balance so he can produce gait instead of make him gait. So that's what we try to help them with. That way they have a safer horse, actually.
And it's not just about the horse. It's, how we ride and how we get out of their way so they can do what nature intended them to do, and that's gait.
Well, I'm not all that familiar with gaited horses. So, if you could give us a little primer on, I hear that some people say that gaited horses are not supposed to canter, but I see them cantering. So what are they supposed to be doing?
They can do anything a trotting horse does, except they just don't necessarily trot. They can trot, but, we want to see that 4-beat gait, nice and smooth, that you can go on the trail all day long, but they can still canter. They might just have a little bit more difficulty with it, but it doesn't wreck their gait. It's just another gear.
So if they're not doing what you call gaiting, are they trying to trot?
I don't. Well, if they're genetically bred to gait and they're not gaiting, maybe they are out of balance. When you add a rider's weight to the horse, he has to develop the muscle to be able to do things like gait, and he has to learn balance to gait with a rider on. Too many times in the gaited world, the riders just grab hold of their face and drive them, try to make them gait without consideration. Is the horse strong enough to do this yet? Is the horse balanced enough to do this yet? I don't think the horse cares whether he trots or gaits. He just goes the way he goes.
So when you're trying to help people with their horses and maybe they're not strong enough yet, what kind of exercises do you prescribe for people to work on to build that up?
It's a whole series. There's no one thing you can do. You have to develop the horse through a process of teaching him balance, how to bend through his joints and use his joints correctly. It's not hard, but people just have to be aware and learn what the horse needs are. And, most horse training is people trying to make the horse safe for themselves with very little consideration of what the horse actually needs for his security and his comfort.
Right. Well, I was listening to an interview right before you walked up here that you had done maybe several years ago, I'm not sure, with Equine VIP, and you were saying that you felt yourself had done some abusive practices before you learned something different. What did you mean by that?
Well, I showed, and whether people like me saying it or not, what wins in the show ring is exaggerated movements. And when you train a horse to do exaggerated movements, it's not good for the horse's body or emotionally. It's harmful to his psychic. So, I don't think that I physically or really damaged a horse, but I didn't take care of what the horse needs. Where most trail riders, they just want to go down the trail, be safe and comfortable. So you can train a horse the way a horse should be trained.
You know, in the show ring, there's a time limit. You have to be ready by that time. So you're not always looking out for the best interest of that particular horse at that time. You know, you might need to strengthen a right hind leg, but you have a show next weekend. So can you strengthen a muscle in a week?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And showing's a good thing. I mean, it's just another venue for you to enjoy your horse. But in that venue where you enjoy your horse, you can't sacrifice your horse to get a ribbon.
Exactly. Well, now I rode a Pasofino of my friend's Pasofino, and so I'm up there and I'm saying, "Am I gating? Am I gating?" So for beginners, how do they tell if they're actually getting it done?
Well, it's just a feel you develop. I mean, you wouldn't have to ride long, and you would develop a feel because gating would be comfortable. There would be no jarring, no bouncing.
It's kind of smooth.
Yeah,
Okay.
be like gliding. So as far as trail riding, it would be the optimum.
Okay. And so when they've gotten their optimum movement that they're supposed to be getting, and they're out on trail, they're not lifting their legs very high like you'd see in the show arena. That's what you're trying to aim for, is that right?
Well, a gaited horse doesn't have a lot of suspension. That's why he's smooth. He's always got a couple feet on the ground. Where a trotting horse, there's a moment of suspension when he's completely off the ground, which that's what creates the jarring. So the more even the 4-beat gait, which is the equivalent footfall of walk, the smoother the horse is going to be.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about what's going on today and what you're going to be teaching in your clinics.
We're going to just give people some things they can go home and do that would help their horses clean up the horse's gait. You know, if they're a little pacey, we want to make them a little more diagonal. If they're trotty, we want to make them a little more even gaited. We're just going to give them some tools and things they can go home to not just make the horse gait better, but make the horse softer and more responsive to the rider.
Teach the rider what aids are to talk to that particular horse, like we were talking about, you know, engaging the hind end. What engages the hind end? What part of your body helps that horse in that communication?
Okay. And do you have any other events or clinics coming up soon around the South?
Next weekend, we're in Denver, Colorado, in the South. We're somewhere every weekend.
We got our 5-day clinics at the farm in Cookeville, Tennessee in April.
Okay, so y'all travel all over the nation? Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right, well, I appreciate you coming by the Alabama Horse Talk booth and sharing with us a little bit, and hope you enjoy the rest of the fair.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Oh, and we should say, what is your website?
Mine is www.gatedhorsemanship.com.
Whitesell, gatedhorsemanship.com. But you can go to either one and link to the other one.
All right. Well, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And viewers, you can go to Southern Horse Talk Facebook group, join the conversation, share your horse story, your pics, and your videos, and help us share the Southern equine lifestyle.